In this video, boys and girls, video number 4 for lesson 7.14, I have 3 story problems for you to solve. So give me a second to type them up, and then we will be ready to roll. Here are your 3 problems, ladies and gentlemen. In the first 4 games of the baseball season, Lauren got 3 hits in 9 at-bats. What was her batting average? And give you just kind of as a note as we look at these problems, batting average is determined by hits over at bats. Okay, so it's a fraction. So in the first one, it would be 3 hits over 9 at bats. Okay, so that's the fraction, and then to convert that into a decimal, that would be what the average is. Okay, so batting average, think of batting average as just a decimal. All right, so that's the first problem. Second problem, Felicia is on a softball team. In her first 8 at-bats, she got 5 hits. What was her batting average? And then finally, on Saturday, Allie played baseball with her family. She had 3 at-bats and got 2 hits. What was her batting average? So please, boys and girls, pause the video and solve the problem. Again, I don't care how you solve the problem. Just make sure you know how to do it and you are able to replicate that every time. When you are done, restart the videos and check and see how you did. Hopefully, boys and girls, you came up with an answer here. The first one, and I'm just going to write Lauren got 3 hits and 9 at-bats, so that's 3/9. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to convert that into a decimal. So remember, we put the numerator in the house, and we put the denominator outside. And we're trying to figure out how many 9s go into 3. Well, none do, so we're going to have to add a decimal, add a 0. How many 9s can I take out of 30 now? Well, that would be 3, 27, subtract 2, 10 less 7 is 3, add a 0, bring it down. How many 9s in 30? Let's get the same answer there. That's going to be 3, 27, subtract, 2, 3. Now, boys and girls, hopefully you see this pattern. So, we know this is going to be 27, so this is going to be 3. So her batting average is going to be, technically, it's going to be 3 continuous, okay? But when we talk about batting averages, we only talk about it in the first 3 digits. So it's her batting average is .333, or 3,300 is what the statisticians, when talking about baseball, would call it. But more importantly, boys and girls, hopefully you got to this point right here. All right, now let's talk about Felicia. I don't know how to say that, is on a softball team. In her first 8 at-bats, she got 5 hits. What was her batting average? First, we need to talk about this in terms of hits over at-bats as a fraction. So she had 5 hits in 8 at-bats. Now, we need to convert this 5/8 into a decimal. So we're going to put the 5 in the house, put the 8 on the outside, because that's what we are dividing by. First thing we have to do, how many 8s can take out of 5? 0. So we're going to add our decimal, and we're going to add a 0. How many 8s in 50 can I take out of 50? Well, that would be 6. 6 times 8 is 48. Subtract 4. 8, 10 less 8 is 2. 4 is 0. Going to add another 0, bring it down. How many 8s in 20? Okay, that would be 2, because that would be 16. Subtract 2, 1. 10 less 6 is 4. 1 less 1 is 0. I'm going to add another 0, bring it down. How many 8s in 40? That would be 5. 8 times 40. 8 times 5 is 40. Boom. Terminates. So her batting average was .625, or 625, as the baseball statisticians would say. All right, and finally we've got Allie playing baseball with her family. She had 3 at-bats, so that's her total number. And then she got 2 hits, which would be her numerator. Now we want to convert that into a decimal. All right, so the numerator goes in the house, and the denominator goes outside the house. And let's switch colors here. First thing we have to ask, how many 3's going to take out of 2? None. So we're going to add a decimal, and we're going to add a 0. How many 3's can I take out of 20? That's going to be 6. Multiply that out, 18. Subtract. 10 less 8 is 2. Add a 0, bring it down. How many 3's in 20? Oh, that's still 6. 18. Subtract. 2. Now, boys and girls, what we have, what do you see? Well, let's look. Pattern. And if I do this again, how many 3's in 20? That would be 6. Multiply that out, 18. Subtract 2. So I have a pattern. So Allie's batting average is going to be 0.66, continuous technically. But mathematicians in baseball, they would round that up and say it's 0.667. So hopefully you got these right, boys and girls. Hopefully you were able to convert them correctly. Don't worry about the rounding part in this one. Not as important to me as did you get 0.666 continuous? Did you get 0.333 continuous? Did you get 0.625? All right, that's all I got for you. Sorry, videos 2, 3, and 4 were a little bit long today, but it is something that is important. If you have any questions, please see Mr. Winkleman. Otherwise, my question for you is and was and is, how are fractions converted to decimals? So make sure you have an answer for that before you come and see Mr. Winkleman and get your wonderful gift. All right, talk to you later.